We'll go to the
Anyhow,
AL West. So, Sal, when you guys need lineup changes next year, we'll get you on the show and we'll talk to Adam about making lineup changes on that team you guys are playing on. So, the AL West, which is another, I think, interesting division. I'm going to go first since I haven't gone first yet, and I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers. I just think, last year they struggled a little bit. Guys didn't have as good as seasons. I don't think it was a World Series hangover. I just don't believe in that. But I also do believe that Bruce Bochy is the every other year manager that he is, like he was with the Giants. And I also think, you know what? I believe in Jacob deGrom. So I think that at the top of the rotation with Nathan Eovaldi and all these other guys, I think that they're going to be good. And I like Texas in the West.
Right.
Sal?
But there's the big if with deGrom. If
Yeah,
deGrom stays healthy,
yeah,
he's got to stay healthy. He's got to get past mid-June, because that's always when it starts to go awry and things happen. And then by July he's on the IL, and then by the end of August they say, well, let's just rest him the rest of the year, and then they're out of it. So they need him this year.
How smart do the Mets look letting him walk? They didn't want. I mean,
it took a lot of heat for that.
We talked about starting pitching in some of our texts, and my belief is the market for starting pitchers is really odd because there is no depth in games for these guys. They don't go more than 5-6 innings. I really think that one of the reasons the Mets did not go out into the market is I think that they are the team that's going to switch the market. Even when they went out for Scherzer and Verlander, they only went with 2- and 3-year deals for those guys, even though they were outrageous prices. But they're out from under those deals already.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas
guys like the Yankees,
these guys with these long-term deals, you're stuck with them. Yankees did the right thing, I think, with Cole. They called his bluff and didn't add another year. But they're stuck now with a long-term deal for Rodon, a long-term deal for Fried, and a long-term deal for Cole, and he's already missing this season. So I think that the starting pitching idea that the Mets are going to lead the charge. I think they're going to offer like 3 years and 120 to these guys, and 3 years and 150 to these guys, and they're going to blow people away in the annual salaries, but they're not going to blow them away in length of contracts. It's going to be interesting if the players will go for it. I think a team needs to come out and say that. Otherwise, if every team does it, the players are going to cry collusion. But it'll be hard to cry collusion when pitchers are being offered 3 years and $120 million.
Yeah, exactly. I think I think if you can if teams can get a couple of good inning eaters, you can start an innings eater and bring the next guy in the fifth or sixth and go from there and just chip away. I really think that we're starting to see the end of the era of the high-priced starting pitcher.
I agree, because some of the guys who throw 90, it's ridiculous. So, Adam, did we get to you with the AL West?
No, I mean I'm going to throw in a wrench. I'm going to give the Mariners a shot this year because I like their pitching. I think that division could be won with a really really stellar staff. So I'm going to say that they might do it this year. Though I agree. I think the Rangers are solid, very good team. They could go back to after winning it all, and if deGrom is back and throwing, hopefully not throwing 100 anymore, he should just learn to throw 95, and maybe that'll help him out a little bit. Keep that. He's not a big guy. It would be nice to see it, but I keep thinking this might be the Mariners' year. I just think it would be nice if they get just a little offense out of that team. They just never get very. The ballpark. It's like playing in
Grand Canyon.
Yellowstone Park, and they just can't seem to mount a really strong offensive team. It's just amazing how great they used to be at that, but they were always so offensive. They never had pitching. Now they've got pitching.
They got to figure out how to trade Ken Phelps for Jay Buhner. That'll help.
They need. Buhner's probably the only man who can get a ball out of that ballpark regularly. So, but that's
Junior did okay. Well, it's a new ballpark, so I guess neither one of them.
They weren't there. Most of those guys weren't there.
Still called Safeco? I have no idea.
No, I think it changed like 9 times.
Oh. To Adam's point, the Mariners were 21st in runs scored last year, and who was I with? It was one of the guys at Yankees camp this year. oh, I can't remember his name, but he's lives in Los Angeles, but he's a Mariners fan. He grew up in Seattle, and he was just PO'd that they didn't pick up anybody, literally nobody for the offense.
Yeah.
So
Well, they were smart enough to take what was it, Jared Kalanick, or whatever his name is, from the Mets, and
Right.
spun him real quickly to the Braves for more pitching. So I
yeah,
mean, they're a well run organization from that
They're
perspective.
well run.
They did
They
a good
see
job
the
of playing
value
to
of
the,
really good vision in that place. Sorry,
they
they
played to
really
the
see
value
the
of
value.
the farm. Something that I think that the Giants do as well, pretty good most times. So, all right, AL Central, Adam.
I am looking at this is going to be the fun one for me. I love the Tigers. I would love to see the Tigers have this crazy, good, surprising year and do wonderfully and win and surprise the world and win there. So and see the Tigers go far. Don't you love the two best pitchers in the world are named Scooble and Skeens? Just love it. It tickles. It
You're not
tickles.
going to put Crochet up there with those guys.
No, not yet. Not yet. Crochet is a nice name though. It is funny.
Okay.
But no, I'm gonna go. I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say the Tigers win it with 88 wins this year.
All right.
Because that division is strong now, and they're going to kick. They're going to kick each other's asses all over the season. So the only one, obviously, the White Sox are going to lose another 120 games. So they
Well,
still have.
I think those the really poor teams in baseball, the White Sox, the Rockies, and to a great extent the Angels, are teams that are going to inflate the rest of their divisions teams records,
Mhm.
and that's going to have a huge impact on the wild card situation. What do you think in the AL Central, Mister Sally?
well, if the Tigers can build on that momentum that they, when they started motoring, no pun intended for the Motor City, the last 6 weeks of the year last year, if they can build upon that, yeah, they got a shot. I mean, the Royals are the team to beat in that division right now, but yeah, I mean, I like Detroit. Um, do a lot of business there through my broadcasting, and not so much in Kansas City. So I'm gonna root for. I'm gonna
You
pull for
want-
Detroit.
in other words, you're making a pick for a free meal someplace. Is that what you're
Right.
doing?
Exactly. And
I,
did you
I
know? Did you
actually,
notice
yeah,
Torres had the beard today?
I'm actually picking Kansas City, which I think is a safer pick. But I can't trust a team that has Javi Baez and Gleyber Torres as their middle infield.
That's so
I mean, you talk about
scary. That's,
it's a
I mean,
scary
they're going to
part.
make an error at a terrible time in an amazingly important moment.
It's just yeah,
Glaber's going to drop a ball.
I don't. There's something about Detroit that yeah, I think they're an up and coming team. I think they're missing something, and I don't know what it is, but they're missing something in my eyes. And I like Kansas City for a lot of reasons. Although I am a little disappointed. One of my favorite players because I listen to him on MLB radio all the time. His name is as hard to say as Sal's Pescarini, whatever the first baseman. He's a fun guy to listen to.
Mm.
And Kansas City is the team I'm picking there. And now
Okay.
we finally get around to the AL East, Mister Sal.
Well, um, you know, I don't think the Yankees are the lock. Um, I didn't think they were a lock last year, but they played well and they had Soto. I think we might feel that. I mean, I hope Goldschmidt delivers, and I like Bellinger. But we've done this dance now a number of times with these, Rizzo. We brought in Rizzo. We bring in these, guys that were really good at one time, but then when they get here, it's who's the other guy we brought in? Carpenter that time. Although he had a couple of good games
Well,
for the
also
They've
Yankees.
done
got
this a
DJ
lot. They brought
years
in
and
Holiday. They brought in a lot of these guys who were great at
Yeah,
the other time.
yeah, well, they tried to get the strawberry fielder Tim Raines triumvirate type of bringing guys in, David Justice
Exactly.
type of
Yeah.
guy bringing in these guys, and they just haven't hit on them like they have in the
Yeah.
past, and that's why I think that's it. So, who do you think's going to win the division, Mister Sal?
I think Boston's going to make a run for it. I think it's going to. I mean, getting Bregman, which I know I wanted for the Yankees. I know you disagreed with me, Mike. Well, we over the years, I think you were okay if we got him for 3, but not 5.
Yeah.
But I still think he has something in the tank. I know he's slowed a little bit, but they all have. So
I
yeah,
think
I think Boston's going to contend.
Bregman brings something to the table the Yankees need desperately, and that's a sense of urgency and a sense of red ass, I guess I would call it, even though he's not exactly a redneck, red ass type of guy. But his style of play, grind it out, dirty. I'm going to do what I can to win, and I don't mean bang on the garbage cans. I think
Right.
he brings that. I don't think his skill set wasn't good for Yankee Stadium, but his mindset is exactly what every single team in baseball needs. I think I think Altuve is the same thing. There was just a bunch of guys like that on the Astros that just want to beat the crap out of you no matter what happens, and Bregman fits that perfectly. And
Yeah.
that's why he's actually between him and assuming Crochet doesn't get hurt pitching all these innings. I'm picking the Red Sox to win the division as well. I think their offense with Cassis and Devers going to DH, they got some good young players in the lineup. Big questions about their bullpen, but I think with their offense, I think their starting rotation's a little iffy. But I think that there's something about the Red Sox this year that I think is right. My friend Todd Goober, who is a lifelong Red Sox fan, thinks I'm crazy.
Well,
I
I
think
think
all
Red
Red
Sox fans, they're a lot like Mets fans. They've been through so much heartache that they find it difficult to believe that they can actually,
They won 3 World
do so
Series in
well.
over 15 years. Shut up.
They have, yeah, no,
Shut
they
up, Red
have.
Sox. Adam, what do you think in the East?
I think that the Yankees are going to surprise us. I think they're going to. I'm going to tell you what's key to the Yankees season this year.
Kramer.
It's their farm. It's their farm system. Yes, and Kramer. Sorry, it's their farm system and Kramer. I think they need if they have a really good farm system this year, and everybody comes together, has some, and they have some growth there instead of the regression that we saw last year, maybe a little bit the year before. They'll be able to make some pickups mid-season that's gonna make them somewhat valuable because they'll be able to maybe save the day with some offense that they're going to be lacking here. I'm not as worried about the pitching as everybody else is because I never thought that starting was as important because their bullpen was so good. If their bullpen can get healthy, stay healthy, if they're going to be fine. I think the Yankees will win 90 games this year. I think 90 games could win that division because those teams are all going to be, again, like we said, like it happens, they beat the hell out of it.
92 wins will definitely win the division. 90 could definitely win the division as well.
So I think because of how good the Orioles are, I think the Orioles are going to have a great year this year because I think they didn't do anything, but they didn't get as much growth out of their youth last year that they should. And they've got a farm system that if they need to go do what they need to do in the midseason, like we thought they were going to last year, this year they may not be able to get away with that. They will make that move that they didn't last year. So I think you got the Orioles, the Yankees, and the Red Sox.
They made the move for Burns before last season. The question is they let Burns walk and didn't replace him. And then Grayson, what's his name? Grayson, whatever his last name is he's out for the year, right? So
yeah. I think you're gonna have a great year from Henderson. I think you're gonna have we'll
see. The Hunter Henderson injury that he's got, it's the injury Henderson had is a lingering type of injury. They don't want to call it an oblique; they're calling it something else, but it's an interesting injury. He tried to come back, and they had to shut him down, and all sorts of stuff. But I do agree that
going back, I think Yankees win it with 90, but mostly because of the Orioles and the Red Sox strength. I think that division is going to be very tight, and the Yankees could pull it out if they can make a move that supplements that the team in a way that you don't usually see.
I think if they get the seasons out of Goldschmidt and Bellinger that they had last year, and get improvement from Volpe to get to be a 340 on base guy, and Dominguez can go 2020, which is definitely within his capabilities.
Yeah,
I think the move the Yankees need to make is in May, and it's for Sandy Alcantara. I in my heart of hearts, I think that the Yankees are going to struggle to make the wild card, but I picked them because I'm a Yankee fan. Because exactly what you said, I think the teams in the AL East are going to beat the crap out of each other, and it may be 90 wins to win, while you've got the teams in the Central beating the crap out of three of them beating the crap out of each other, and everybody beating the crap out of the White Sox again. They could be worse than last year, the White Sox. They did nothing to improve, and they're likely to trade Luis Robert during this season if he shows that he's healthy. Sox could lose 140 games. That's how bad they are. The AL West,
Did they lose today?
Angels,
Did they
the
lose today?
Angels stink. The Angels stink.
Yeah, another
The
bad
A's
team.
are better. The A's are better, but the Angels stink. And the teams in the West are going to beat the crap out of them. So I think the Central has a chance to really put 2 wild cards in there. But I picked as my wild card teams Cleveland, the Yankees, and the Mariners. However, I said it's just as easy that the Twins would come in and replace either the Yankees and the Mariners, or the Orioles could come in and replace the Yankees. But the Mariners pitching is why I picked the Mariners. But why I didn't pick them is their offense. But I picked Cleveland, the Yankees, and the Mariners as my 3 wild cards in the American League. Mr. Sal?
Blue Jays as a wild card. I think they're going to surprise.
Getty Lee allegiance. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, yeah. For Getty, I'll
You
go
just
with
want to have
Toronto.
something to talk about. That's
No, I listen to him like I listen to you guys. You guys know all this stuff.
But you need to get better friends. That's what I got to say.
That's
definitely need better friends.
So, and I'll go with Kansas City since I already picked Detroit, and so I'll go with Kansas City there. And in the West, yeah, I'm gonna go with Seattle. Like I said, if Texas stays healthy, they win the division, and Seattle knows they have something to prove, even though they didn't bolster the offense by any stretch. I think they'll pull it together and make a run for that wild card.
Mr. Adam, what do you think in the AL wild card?
I think Orioles, Guardians, and Red Sox in the wild card. Those 3, because again, I think the Yankees can pull it out. And emotional. I'm with it. I feel like they had a great offseason, and it breaks my heart that they broke down, and I think and I'm going to go on the record right now saying that spring training should be 10 days long.
You've been on the record. Been on the record the last 3 shows with that one.
I'm sick of spring training. Should not be 6 weeks. It should be 10 days long. They'll all appreciate it. They'll agree. I bet if you ask the players how long it should be, they'll say 10 days long is perfect. It's all we need. So we need to do that. That needs to be in the new CBA.
Well,
they'll never do it because of the money.
Pitchers are never going to pitch even 5 innings for the first month of the season.
What was
that's
that?
the problem.
Starting pitching will never pitch 5 innings for the whole first month of the season.
Yeah.
Do that. That's the biggest thing.
They don't do that anymore.
With regard to the hitters, I agree with you 100%. The starting pitching is going to be the challenge.
That's right. But so I go Orioles, Guardians, and Red Sox because I love the Guardians. They're to me the Guardians are similar to the team we played today. Guardians scare the heck out of me because I think that
they scared the crane out of you. What'd you say?
Yeah, the crane. I just love the way they play. I love Kwan. I wish the Yankees had 3 Kwans, and that to me just would be that's a great team. And somehow they find a way to pull it out. So they have a modest amount of health. They're going to be okay. They could have a great season.
You're forgetting the most important thing about the Guardians. Joe Ostie is their pitching coach.
That is correct, sir.
He is Ostie's twin, their pitching coach.
Amazing. It's amazing how much they look alike. So, all right.
Old to be his father, though. Isn't Ostie 174 years old?
A little bit older, a little longer in the tooth.